Hey YouTube, Skipper T here. Today we're going to take the Schrade SCHF 36 and we're going to do a quick mod on it. You guys saw the 37 when I put the gun bluing on it. Took off this truck bed liner that's on here. I'm going to do the same thing to this knife. I actually like the 36. Fits my medium hand very nicely. In fact, it takes up all the space on it. I like it. Love these TPE handles on here. But because nobody saw me do the actual mod on the 37, just the results of it, I've gotten several questions on going about this. John Z, if you're out there, no, I would not recommend taking this off with the Dremel. It could be done, but it's going to create a lot of dust, and I don't know what the properties are on this coating. So what I'm going to do today, and you don't need a shop to do that, you can just do what I'm going to do. What I've done is I've gotten just a little piece of tin here, a couple of twigs that I'm going to set the blade up on, so I'll set that off to the side. No, I'm not going to fill this up. What I've got is just some zip strip paint and finish remover here. This is kind of a thicker material, goes on like a gel. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put on some neoprene gloves, got a couple of cotton balls here that I'll use for the application of the paint stripper. I'm going to coat both sides. I'll take the scales off. I'm going to coat both sides. I'll be able to lay then the actual blade itself up on those twigs, keep it up, let everything circulate around, and hopefully take all the paint off in one fell swoop. I'll take the handles apart. I'll get everything set up and ready to go. Get the camera in close so that you guys can see this. I'll apply the coating. We'll set it down, and then we're going to have to walk away for half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I might have to put a second coat on it to loosen it up because this is some fairly tenacious stuff. But that's what we're going to do today. We're going to strip this all down. Once we've got it stripped down, we're going to attack this jimping here on the top and on the back side of the handle here. We'll move over to the bench grinder, show you guys how I take that off. And then once everything's dried and back together, we'll go ahead and reassemble it. So stay with me. Okay guys, we're back. I got the scales taken off. This is what each one of them looks like up close. The back side there's relatively flat, and the outside. So now we're down to the tang, and I'm going to, or the blade itself, the chunk of 1095 carbon steel. I am going to take all of this coating off before I get to work on grinding down this somewhat excessive jimping here. The reason being is that when I'm grinding this down and it's heating up, I don't want to change the temper on the steel. And I don't know if this coating will absorb the heat and then keep it in. I think it will, so I'm going to take it off. Pretty simple. Okay guys, it's been about 30 minutes. Safety glasses going back on. Let's see how much of this came off. Okay guys, that's 30 minutes on the first coat. As you can see, it's taken off most of it, I would say. It's still thick in some places. So I'm thinking we're going to have to make a second application. This seemed to work out pretty good last time when I poured this out. So we'll try that again for the application phase. Okay guys, here we are at an additional 30 minutes on this. So this has been soaking off and on now, well twice anyway, for 30 minutes at a pop to see if we can get that truck bed liner off. Let's see how it's doing now. Okay guys, got this all washed off, used a little Dawn dishwashing liquid, took off the gooey stuff on it. We're down pretty much to the base metal. The back side of the blade, obviously on the tang portion, it's not quite as refined and polished as the front side. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a wire brush on my drill press and then just see if I can't maybe take a little bit more of this off. I believe my brush is a wire or a brass type thing, so it shouldn't mar up the metal too bad. Shouldn't change the blade contours and the grind on it. Should just kind of polish it up a little bit to where we can get it all cleaned up, get these things grinded out here, and then in fact I think I may grind those out first. So what we'll do is we'll go over to the bench grinder and I'll show you how this is done. Stay with me. Okay guys, now we're going to see if we can't take off, get this up where you guys can see it, some of this jimping here in the background. You can see how aggressive that is, so we're going to take and knock that down a little bit. And then on the inside of the handle, here's some more. We're going to try and take that out too. Gotta plug it in first. Safety glasses. Everybody must wear these when grinding. I even put on an apron, my welding one, so they don't tear up my clothes. Gloves. Should always wear gloves. Okay guys, got all that jimping off. Now we're just going to use the tool sharp here with the 220 grit. I've already taken all the stuff off I need to take off, so really the only thing we're doing now is just smoothing it off. Oh yeah, that's very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay guys, I've not done this before with the wire brush, so this is going to be an experiment. Last time I did it on the 37, I just used sandpaper and really just kind of worked it down some wet dry. So today, let's see if this will help at all. Okay guys, hope you can see that. It's looking pretty decent. Now I think I'm down to the point where I can do some sanding. Alright guys, here we are back at the table. As you can see, I've gotten all that truck bed linering off. This is now just your basic massive hunk of 1095 carbon steel. Now, we've got 220 grit wet dry sandpaper. This is the same stuff I used on the last blade. And what we're going to do is just go back and forth, take all this oxidation, whatever's left on here, off. Kind of just smooth this thing out a little bit. Now again, back behind here where the tang starts at about, right where the finger choil ends here and right in here. This is all tang back here. Does not need to be perfect, but I am going to sand it down, and what I'm going to do then is allow the new coating. I want to leave some scratches in the material so that it gets a mechanical bond with it. So anyway guys, we'll do a little bit of sanding. Okay guys, we're back. We're going to take our recently polished blade, put on some safety glasses, which in this case are cheaters, so that I can see really good what's going on. Now, according to the Perma Blue liquid gun blue here, it says in essence that you're supposed to degrease it, so we've got some acetone here and we'll do that. Clean it off real good. It says brighten the area to be reblued with steel wood or abrasive cloth, which I think our sandpaper's already covered that part. Apply the blue with a standard or saturated swab or sponge. Allow to work 1 minute, okay? And then rinse with cold water and wipe dry. Lightly buff the steel wool again, and then clean and rinse, apply the blue, and do that until you get the darkness that you're looking for. I've got a thermos here filled with some cold water, and that's what I'm going to dunk it in. Got some paper towels here that we can dry the blades off with. Got some steel wool, double aught, and we've got some swabs that we can apply the bluing material with. So first things first, let's get this thing acetoned here. Oh, by the way, acetone will eat right through your vinyl gloves, so forget the vinyl gloves. Just man up and get her done. Okay, here comes our first application of the bluing. Now it says to let it work for 1 minute. Changes the color dramatically, doesn't it? Starting to look like the way we started with it. It's been a minute, so we'll dunk it in the cold water. As we're rinsing it off, we'll go both ways, get both sides. Now it says to dry it off. That's what it looks like after one coat, okay? So, and you're thinking, oh my God, look at all of that discoloration and unevenness here. That's okay. It's quite all right. Did this the last time I did it too, and really worked out pretty slick. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply the other coats. That was one. I'm going to do at least, I think, 3, if not 4 more, and see if I can't get the same kind of outcome as the other one. So I'll be back in a minute when we're done. Okay guys, this is what 3 coats looks like. Really starting to come into its own here. Sorry about the glare there, but that's just the way the lights work sometimes. But as you can see, that's starting to come up with a nice even finish. Boy, the first 2 coats always makes you pucker a little bit. Okay, YouTube. Here we are, 5 coats. Boy, I tell you what, I think that has turned out beautifully. It has really done a nice job. Just blued it out, put a little protective coating on it. Got that huge truck bed liner off of there. Oh my God. But yeah, I think this has turned out pretty darn good. I know the lights are a little bright in here just because of, so that I could film indoors on a rainy day, but I think overall, she's looking pretty darn good. I notice in the camera here it shines, but it's got a nice dark color to it, and it's even all the way around, it appears. And that's what the steel wool is for, is to take off any excess and to kind of blend everything down into a straight color. So I'll tell you what, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the scales back on, and we'll see if we can get it back in the sheath and get it ready to use in the great outdoors. Stay with me. Done and complete. This has really turned out very, very well. The bluing, as you can tell, I'm trying to cut down on some of the reflected light here. Got a big old light over there, it's shining right in my eyes. But yeah, that turned out really nice, guys. I hope everybody can see that. I've got blue spots in my eyes right now. But the finish really came out nice. Just beautiful. Got my little lanyard on the end here. Choil, everything's smooth. You can see it right in here. See the jimping up here. Still have a nice thumb ramp up there. Kind of matched everything back up. It's just a touch high on the handle. But I'm not going to fret over it. I'm not going to worry about it. The TPE is flexible enough. It'll do that. Give me a little grip. Boy, if I want to choke up on it with the finger choil here, I tell you what, if they'd have just done that to begin with, that'd have been just dang near perfect knife. Anyway, that's how I modified the SCHF 36. Appreciate you guys hanging around with me today while we're doing this on a nice rainy day. Remember, keep your eyes open, keep your heads up, and we'll see you outside.